Hey everybody, this is Rich here and welcome to another After Effects tutorial where today I'm going to show you how to bring in the Enterprise into After Effects, as seen here. Okay, so we have the Enterprise floating above my house and it's animated and it goes into warp drive and disappears, just like magic. I think Harry Potter was involved, I'm not quite sure. So the whole point of this tutorial is to show you how to export your 3D model from a 3D program and import it into VideoCopilot's Element 3D. And I'm going to be using Blender because I'm too poor to afford everything else. So I'm going to jump right into there. Alt-Tab to switch between all your desktop and other programs you have running. So we're going to stick with Blender. And in here I have my model. It looks like crap. I'm sorry. Can't help it. And I don't have any cameras or any lights in the scene. I deleted it because I don't ever plan on using this in Blender because this is like the 5th model that I've made and I have about 10 others. So yeah. So I'm going to hit A, which selects and deselects everything. So only the mesh is just selected. So I'm going to go to File, Export wavefront.obj, and we're going to come down here to the export settings and we're going to set it up for Element 3D. So I'm going to go to Selection Only, Include Normals, and Triangulate Faces. So these are the ones you want, and you can also do apply the modifiers, or you can do it beforehand. Element 3D reads meshes when it's converted to triangles. I don't know exactly why. You'd have to consult VideoCopilot for that. But these are the settings you want, so take a minute, take a look. And if you also want to save it as a preset, you just click this and just name it Element 3D. I actually do have it. I just wanted to show you guys what to click. So then you choose your destination and then just click Export. But I already did that, so I'm just gonna close out of this and we're back here in After Effects. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my footage and drop it into a new comp, and we are going to 3D motion track this using the built-in camera tracker that comes with After Effects CS6, which is what I'm using. But first I want to set up Element. So I'm gonna go to Layer, New Solid, and that looks cool. We'll just do that. And then I'm going to go to Layer, New, Null Object. And I'll show you why in a minute. So with our solid selected, I'm going to go to Effect. That's new. VideoCopilot Element. And go to the Scene Setup. I have in my Model folder, I actually have the Enterprise already saved, so I'm just going to click that. And I use a lot of textures from the Pro Shaders presets, and it looks like crack, but you know, whatever. This is just for demonstration purposes only. I'm just going to choose OK, and there we have the model. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Group 1. That's because the Enterprise is on Group 1. Go down to the Particle Replicator, and I'm going to go down to the null object here and hit P, Shift, R. Oh, actually before you do that, hit F4 to toggle the switches or go down here. Turn it into a 3D layer. Then I'm going to hit P, Shift, R. And I'm going to go to Element, which I'm going to bring this up a little bit further. And I'm going to alt-click on the position XY. I'm going to pick whip the position to the null object. Just click away, and it gives you the mathematical scriptulated quantified juice over here. So next what I'm going to do is I'm also going to alt-click on the position Z. I'm going to click click whip to the Z position of the null object and just click away. Then we're going to go down here to rotation, and Alt click X, pick whip to the orientation, if I can get up here, the orientation X, Alt click Y, pick whip to the orientation Y. I don't know why, that's a funny question. And then Alt click the Z rotation and pick whip the Z value on the orientation. So now we Control A selects everything, Control Shift A deselects everything. I never knew that until recently. That way you can close out whatever, and it's awesome. So now if we click on the null object here, and we hit W for a rotation tool, we can rotate our model. And bring up the arrow tool, we can... What the hell just happened? Whoa. Whoa. Woody whoa. And if we take the arrow tool, we can move the model around. So we can use the null object to control our model. So I'm going to shut these off for now. And at the beginning here, I'm going to just right click on my footage. I'm going to choose track camera. So it's going to track, and it's going to take forever because I'm running about 1,000 things right now. So I'm going to let that rock, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so After Effects is done tracking and it solved the camera. So if we scrub through here, we could see that we have our points. And I'm going to go through here and select a few. Ones that hopefully just stay in the shot long enough to look good. So I know this one because that's the one I chose and the other one. So I'm going to right click on it and create null and camera. So now we have a null object. Excuse me. So now we have a null object and a 3D camera. And I'm going to go through here. I know there was one up here that was really good. I think it was that one, but I'm going to double check it. Make sure it's pretty good. It's an odd spot for it to be. Oop. Yeah, that one's pretty good. So I'm going to right click on this one, create null. Let's see if we can get one maybe a little bit closer to... You come to this one, create null, and this guy looks a little funky. We'll use that one, create null. So we have our null objects in place as our tracking data position holder thingies. I'm just going to select them all, hit S, bring up the scale to about 3000, just so that we could see them. So now if we scrub through, they should all stick pretty well. I was choking before, so I'll be clearing my throat a lot. Can't help it, sorry. And let's close those out. So now let's turn our null object and element layer back on. And we don't see anything, because if it all worked out properly, there it is. Here is our enterprise. And it's just kind of floating there. So that's how we could tell it definitely worked out. It's just sticking right there in like a perspective point of view. It's like it's dancing. Anyway. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select this back null over here, this track null. I'm going to hit P. I'm going to copy the position. So edit, copy. I'm going to go to the position of the null object and choose Edit, Paste. So now it's going to bring our model and our null to that center position. And if we go to the element layer, we can go to Particle Look and bring up the size a lot. Like maybe, let's say 100. So it should be stuck to the corner of the window, which it is. Perfect. I think I'm going to make it about 200. Yeah, 200 seems pretty good. So I'm going to take the null and I'm going to hit the W key for the rotation and kind of fix this up to make it look like it's actually up there. A more perspective view. Maybe drag it up a little bit, hold down shift, and maybe push it back in Z. Oh, not the layer. Dope. The null. Let me just push it back a little bit. That way it should stay relative to where it is. Okay, so now we have a problem. Our enterprise looks like it's right above us. We don't want that. When we go here, it looks like it's still above us, and we don't want that. I don't know why. No, I don't think so. So I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layer, new solid, and I'm just going to choose a bright green. I don't know why I always do this. I'm going to put it above our element layer. What the hell happened here? That's not what I wanted. Put you back there, put you here, and I'm going to rename this element. And this is going to be a mat that we're going to create, so we'll make it a 3D layer, and it puts it off to the side over there. So we don't want it there. I think I'm going to stick it right where this null object is, right here. So that's perfect. We'll hit P, Control C, Control V, and we'll just scale it up. Just make sure that the enterprise is covered, because we want to cover up the house and make sure that the element layer looks like it's above the house. We want to make sure the ship is above the house, so that looks okay. So we'll just turn this off, and here's the fun part. I'm also going to turn the element layer off for now, and I'm going to not want that. It always does that. I cannot win. Adobe needs to get rid of that ASAP. If you agree, then like the video or eat cheese. Do whatever. Okay, so with the green solid selected, we are going to cut out, roto out the house over here. Okay, yada 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 yada. Maybe we'll just stick that there like that, so we should have that. Unfortunately, it doesn't really stick well. It kind of just sticks to that relative position. So now that I actually just thought of it, let's try something. Let's hit M. Let's delete that mask. And we're going to turn the solid off. And we're going to select that null object that's back there. Again, so we'll hit P for position, Control C, come down to our green solid, Control V. We'll turn it on. Maybe we'll rotate it a little bit. Oh, we hit the W key, we can rotate it. Something like that. Scale it up. That way it should stick to the house. I hope. This is going to be an experiment. Let's try this out. Let's make it a little bit bigger, like so. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is take the pen tool again, and we're going to turn this off. And I am going to go to about right here. Well, maybe about there. And again, just trace this out. Like so. Check the points here. Let's make some adjustments. Okay, so now we have that. Let's see if it actually just sticks. So what I'm going to do is go to element, hit F4, let's change it to alpha inverted, and we'll turn element back on, and let's see if this works. Which I'm shocked, it actually pretty much works. Except a few issues here that we can work out, but it's only a couple of frames long, which is very good. and we'll make some adjustments along the edge here. So let's go back to about here, where you can see it kind of intersects with the house. Goes forward. Okay, so we'll hit M, set a keyframe for the mask path, and let's adjust this a little bit so it kind of looks like it's above the house. Okay, fix that. Just go through a little bit. Move that. That up. Looks kind of funky. So I'm going to turn element off. Go into the mask here. Just make some adjustments. Do that. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead and continue this little roto, and I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, so about 6 weeks later, I finally resumed this tutorial. So here we go. No, I'm just kidding. It only took me about 10 minutes. You know, had a couple of things to do, drank a beer, ate a sandwich, vacuumed the pool, even though it's closed. So now it's completely obscured. I'm going to hit F, and I'm going to feather it to about, I'll say 3 pixels, and see what that looks like. And I did a really sloppy job. I trust you guys would do a lot better. So we have that, and I'll probably go out of whack over here, which actually looks okay. So now we can start animating. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to come here to about 4 seconds. I'm going to take our null object, hit P, Shift R, set a keyframe for the position and orientation. I'm going to come down to the end about 9 seconds, and I'm going to shoot it forward. And also I'm going to come down to here and hit W and rotate on the Y, on the X, hit V for the arrow, and then hit Shift and just shoot it off. And then I'm just going to come into, first of all, let's check that out, see what that looks like. So we'll do a quick RAM preview. Okay. So, looks a little funky. We'll fix that, and we'll do that right now. So it's good to maybe, as it's coming around, to maybe have it start moving. Maybe we can push it back a little further. And we'll just take a look. Maybe it's shooting out from the side over here. So it looks like it's moving. And then, oh no, somebody's watching, and it takes off. Okay, so then we have our little animation. Pretty much that. Take your time with everything. Make sure everything looks the way you want it. And make sure it just looks entertaining. So the whole point of this tutorial was pretty much how to set up your model, bring it in. You can link it up to a null object and animate it. And you can do that with virtually almost anything. So, yeah. So, thanks for watching. Keep an eye out. Subscribe to see more tutorials. And hopefully, whenever I have time, I will continue to do so. So, again, this is Rich, and thanks for watching.